Welcome to part 13 of Mama Fratelli's Jeep build. We're taking this junky 1984 Jeep Cherokee and turning it into this, the infamous 1984 Jeep Cherokee getaway vehicle driven by Mama Fratelli herself, and yes, complete with bullet holes. We've nicknamed our Jeep Ann as a tribute to the late Ann Ramsey who played Mama Fratelli. We left off with the installation of the new radiator. I had noticed weak spots on the old one, and this was a perfect opportunity to replace it. I then transitioned to sanding, prepping, and painting the front header panel so that we can install it and begin putting the front of Ann back together.
Right, the other side.
Now that the header panel has a base coat on it, we'll let it cure and work on the door and the door hinges that I acquired last episode.
I was able to pound the pin out of the old hinge and paint this up, so hopefully I'll be able to put this on the vehicle, pound the pin back in, and then put the door on. That's the plan.
If this looks painful, it is. This is what you do when you don't have a press, a vise, or a workbench. I do what I can with what I've got, and I make it work.
So far, there are 3 problems with the new door. The first one is, and I knew about it, it has the wing window. Mama's Fratelli Jeep does not have a wing window, but that's okay because we can still use all of the innards from the original door that came on this Jeep. The other problem is that this stud right here, or this bolt, broke off, so I'm going to have to deal with this. I think this plate right here can come out and I can swap it with the old one, so I think that won't be a problem. The other problem though is that this one has power windows. It's an 87, so I don't know if the innards of the door will accept the crank window. So if it can't, then we've got a problem, because 100% screen accurate, this is not a power window. It needs to be a crank window. So I'm getting in here and I'm going to take this apart and see what we can see before I spend any time dealing with that bolt or anything else. And yeet. Here's the hole for the hand crank right here. So we're good to go. Yes, that's awesome. Whew, scary. And this is more good news, that my Easy Out was able to pull this bolt out of here. So that's pretty awesome. In the process of putting the new door on, looking good, looking good. I am going to have to pull these back out again because this one here is, like I said, is not the correct one. But we're still getting all this taken care of, so I still have to tighten all that stuff up. All right, it's not perfect. I don't have the body lines completely correct. There's more of a gap here than there is here, etc. But the door's on, and we don't need this, do we? So let's take that off of it. So today I am attempting to transfer all the hardware over, including these guys. So I'm going to take all the good clips from here, including these right here. I'm going to clean them up.
I removed both chrome strips from the old header panel. They will get polished and reinstalled onto the new header.
Ew. This is the section I've done. That's the section I haven't done. That's no difference. Not only was this piece broken in shipping, this piece right here is cracked. But it's also not seen from the outside, so I'm not worried about it. However, look at this. All these holes that are supposed to be for this This is the only one right here that almost lines up. None of these other ones line up.
So I'm going to install the one screw, then I'll re-drill the remainder of the holes.
So I've taken off the other piece of chrome and I'm test fitting it right now, and it is not fitting right. You guys see how there's this huge lip right here. See how this one right here is pretty even with that? It sticks out just a little bit. Now you can see what I'm talking about. It's like way too high, and it doesn't push down either. So that and the holes also don't line up 100%. I'm not too happy with this piece right here. Well, I did not trim the piece. I just put it on because I thought that I was being way too particular. And now that I've got this piece all buffed out, it actually looks like it's not so bad. My biggest concern now is like the unevenness of this piece right here, but hopefully they can do that, take care of this, and then this little gouge right here, take care of that when they do paint.
Our Facebook group page is the best way to stay on top of all the developments as far as the build, updates, public showings, and events. Join us at Mama Fratelli's Jeep. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. We're just getting started, and there's so much more Goonie goodness to come.
So we just picked up the bumper. Look at that. All the holes are gone on the top here. She is ready to be installed. I noticed this the other day that I replaced these light sockets, but the bulbs are loose in both of these. So I found some different ones, and these are closer to original equipment as well, which is great. So I want to splice these in. Feel like I'm doing the same thing twice. Oh, that's because I am. So these are the light pods. These are what go on next in both headlight spots.
Even though these can't be seen, I still wanted to make them look new again and protect the metal.
There's coat one. Let that dry. I'm taking this new headlight assembly and I'm putting it in. Now, one thing about aftermarket parts, when you get like this header panel, that's an aftermarket part. And if things don't line up, you can kind of finagle things a little bit. But you get this header panel, and then you take this other aftermarket piece and you put it on over here, and that doesn't line up 100%. Then you take this other aftermarket piece and you put it on over here, and that doesn't line up 100%. And then you get the light assembly and put that on there, and that doesn't line up 100%. You end up with like a really difficult situation. I am just trying to piece this together the best I can to make it look the best. I need to clean the old light off, and then we will connect it, make sure it works first, and then this right here is the way that you adjust the headlight. This right here is left to right, and then this one up here, which you guys can't see, is the up and down. So we'll adjust the headlight first before we go on. Well, that doesn't look so bad, but the back of this thing is completely nasty. So it's not perfect. That's definitely better than what it was.
I tried installing the headlight but ran into a problem. The chrome trim piece is supposed to hold the headlight in place, but it just wasn't lining up right. The holes didn't match and the fit was off. Just another aftermarket part that doesn't quite fit like it should. And yes, I did flip it over to make sure it wasn't upside down.
See how off this is? In fact, this whole thing is not big enough, and it's just completely off. Look at that. Looks like we're gonna have to clean this up and buff this out also. This is before I buff it out. So after buffing, we brought a little bit of the shine back, which is good. Happy to see that. This part right here is not supposed to be silver. This part here is supposed to be black. The whole thing black. This is the first piece that goes down. That piece engages the bottom trim, and then this piece right here I actually have to push down to get to go into the top trim here. And then look at this. Look at that horrible line there. It is sticking out so far. But it's obviously this piece on the header, or it has to be this piece, because this is okay. It's flexing right here. So I'm actually going to cut this piece of plastic off, which hopefully will allow it to recess a little better. And then I need to drill holes through here into the fender. All right, so hopefully now that I've cut this, hopefully this piece will fit a little bit better. And look at that, it does fit better a little bit. This piece right here was jutting out a lot, so I just got through using a Dremel tool to shave some off of it. Well, I can't say that I like that at all, but there's no getting around it. This thing needs to get done, and I don't want to rush things. But I also don't want to spend like 5 hours doing one thing that we can come back and possibly correct later somehow. I don't know how we'd correct for that. Maybe chop off more of the header panel here. I don't know. Anyway, we got to move on. So I'm done with the side over here, and I just wanted to test fit the grill before I start in on the other side. This is so exciting. Look at this. This is completely starting to come together now. This looks amazing. You guys have to understand, this thing has been like a piece of garbage sitting in my driveway for the last almost 3 years now. And now to have all of this like really starting to come together, it's so exciting. It is so exciting. So I painted this up because it came in as gray, and these aren't gray, they're black. So I don't know if they were black from the factory or if they were painted black to help kill sparkly from the car, shine, I don't know. The Jeep, the Cherokee, the badges on the car are the only pieces of chrome except for these two pieces here. Well, I guess kind of like the surround right here. So we've got this piece, and then the top pieces here. The lock for the door where the key goes in is chrome, and then the strips right along the roof that you guys saw me pick up the other day when I got the door, those are also chrome. I put the first coat on it, and then it started raining, and it got a bunch of like little water splatters on it, and I'm like, I'll just leave it, and they'll mask this off, and they'll paint this when the whole thing goes into paint. They'll give it the final coat. So really exciting, really exciting. So this isn't in here permanently yet. I just put it in here, and I should probably put it in here just to make sure I've got the spacing right on the other side. So many holes on this thing were off that I had to drill new ones, and I drilled the new one right next to the old one. So now with fiberglass, I run the risk of possibly cracking that hole, but at least now they line up. So I've already test fit this piece around here, so I know that this is good. So we're going to screw this one in. One trip to the hardware store later, and the front end is complete. I need to test the lights over here first. Lights on, hazards on, and the front is done. So if this is like a real Jeep, well, it is a real Jeep. If we weren't doing mamafratellis, then it would be done. But we still have the license plate and the brush guard to put up here, and the lights. So that's it for this one, guys. We are so close to getting Ann painted, but this is kind of a sneak preview. So we're almost caught up
We're almost caught up with real time in Anne's progress. The next video, we get her ready to paint, or we will show you her getting painted, which is very, very exciting. Until then, we ask that you guys please subscribe, like the video, share it. Your help is always appreciated. Our Cash App is Mama Fratelli's Jeep for those that would like to help directly. You can follow our group on Facebook, which has the most recent build updates and information. We're also on Instagram and TikTok. A very special shout out to Jeff and Chris Davis, Josh Bryant, and Damon Crow for their love and support of this project through Patreon. We'll see you guys in the next video.